Hey, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Way of Life. I'm your host, Gus Holland. For those of you that don't know, the website is up and running. That is wayoflifepodcast.com. As of today, every episode from here on out will be transcribed for those that need those services. And on the website, there will be a blog for every episode as well. So just that's my effort to put out more content and hopefully not only reach more people, but just provide different services for those that it might be beneficial to. Today, I get to sit down with Thomas Crawford of Manhack. I'm super excited about it and don't really want to give away too much, so let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, man, how are you doing?
What's up?
So we've been talking a little bit beforehand, but if you don't mind just going ahead and introducing yourself to the audience.
Yeah. My name's Thomas. I play guitar in a band called Manhack. We're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Playing a metal band where, I don't know, see all kind of genres that were called groove metal, deathcore, metal. Who knows? Who cares? We play metal. We got riffs.
Yeah, exactly. So I was actually introduced to you by my tattoo artist. I hope he doesn't mind me plugging him, but Scott Dowdy. So he's based in Bryan, Texas. They listen to all types of music in the tattoo studio, but I'd say most of the time it leans toward metal.
Mm-hmm.
And and he was like, "Man, you should check this band out." And like it was kind of just random, but he was like, "This band's the shit," So that was probably, I don't even know, probably 2 years ago or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe not that far back, but over a year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So how did y'all, I know y'all are from Georgia. Were y'all buddies beforehand, or how did Manhack come into existence?
Yeah. Well, it started in 2011. Well, I mean, if you want to get really technical with it, it actually started a lot sooner than that. But the first official Manhack track was uploaded to SoundCloud in 2011. I think fall or winter of 2011. Called Intro Martyrdom Reprise, and that was kind of the first official Manhack song. Funny enough, there's actually an acoustic song that we uploaded because originally Manhack was supposed to be. This didn't last long, but it was supposed to be multiple different genres or just kind of whatever was the vibe. And at the time, it was just me as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
I was also playing in a band called Face All Fears. Well, not at that time. I wasn't. I joined Face All Fears a couple years later. Anyway, but yeah, that's when it officially started. When the first Manhack song ever came to fruition, pretty much. Now we could get really deep into the lore here.
Mm-hmm.
Back on MySpace, did you ever have a MySpace profile?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. This wasn't Manhack, but two songs. Actually, one of those songs is released right now. Two songs, Martyrdom and another song called Stopping Power, were actually released on a MySpace music page under, I think it was just my name or something like T-Bomb's music page or something. It wasn't Manhack. And that was probably 2008. I don't know. Was MySpace still relevant then? It might have been like 08, 09 or some shit.
Yeah, that was probably, so I think that's kind of around the time where they were transitioning to like mainly focus on music and stuff like that. I know.
So it was around that time everybody was probably making the switch to Facebook.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it might have been around that time. Anyway, I mean, yeah, we recorded Martyrdom, which is actually up on our Spotify right now. It's part of our full length that we're building, so you can actually go listen to that track. So if you want to hear a really early Manhack song would have sounded like, it would have been that. But technically, we formed in 2011 when that first song got uploaded, and then it was just a one man kind of thing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Did a couple of small releases, got signed in 2014 to a now expired, rest in peace, badass Atlanta record label called Autumn in Color. That lasted for about 2 years. And then it was around that time that we started recruiting members.
Okay.
And our drummer, Pat, at the time, was also playing in Face All Fears. So that's how me and him started working with each other on this project. And we had done an EP in 2014 called Diminicide, and we brought in a few different vocalists from the area to have big sections on. Pretty much, it was our first EP without or with instrument or with vocals, and every song had a different vocalist on it. Pretty much. Excuse me. We didn't really have a set vocalist at the time, or did we? Dude, I don't even remember some of this shit, man. That shit was so long ago. Actually, no, our vocalist at the time was Bobby Brenneman. That's who was doing vocals for us. It was a long time ago. Anyway, we did Diminicide, and Matt, our current vocalist, was in a band called Synapse Defect. And he had probably one of the best vocal spots on the whole EP. So I just kind of started working with him on Manhack after that. So me and Matt were collaborating on Manhack around that time, and then our vocalist or our bassist Ant Belcher started playing bass with us, and then we got Pat around and played our first show in 2018 November, and then we just played a few shows after that, and then that's pretty much what led to where we're at now. I mean, there's a lot more in between that, but that's kind of the long story, I guess, kind of condensed.
Okay. Yeah. So, how did the name Manhack, like how did you come up with that, or how was it that created?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So that was from the original concept of the band, and what the concept still is really was writing songs, taking metal music, implementing a lot of sound design in with the music. So a lot of just random shit that you might hear in a Mick Gordon song or something, right? For a video game soundtrack.
Yeah.
And so taking metal music, incorporating some type of sound design in with it, and then incorporating themes and lyrics, concepts, etc., centered around stuff from video games and movies. Primarily video games. And that's where the name comes from, because Manhack comes from Half-Life 2. I'm not sure if you've ever played that one or not.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Manhacks are some of the enemies in the game that are these really piercing, loud, spinning robot floating things. They have spinning saws on them, and they slam into you.
Yeah.
Called Manhacks. So that's where the name came from. And
Okay.
so yeah, I mean, that's really where that name came from, and we still have that conceptual approach to everything, most things. Still to this day, we have a song called Hall of Valiance that's centered around Skyrim. We have a song called High and Tight, which is also centered around Half-Life 2. Our song Expedition 14A is centered around Doom 3. And one specific audio log that you find in hell when you're in Doom 3. And then, I think the song Constance is centered around BioShock Infinite. So there's a lot of themes like that. So that's pretty much where the name came from. And that name represents the kind of stuff that we write, and the way that we take the approach that we take to creating a Manhack song, pretty much. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, for sure. That's awesome. I didn't. So I've played Half-Life 2, but it was like only at a friend's house, and you know what I mean. Like it wasn't that often. I played a lot of Doom, and so yeah, and a lot of Skyrim as well. So yeah. I've definitely I caught those references in a lot of your music. Yeah. So I don't know. So I listened. Almost every day I listen to at least one of your songs. But the I'm horrible with titles. So King Without a Crown.
King Without a Country.
King Without a Country. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude. Oh, I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't know why I'm like this. Like I've
Dude,
listened
it
to
makes
that
sense.
song probably like 10 times at least, and I'm still like, yeah,
That's just how you interpret it. I
yeah,
mean, a king without a crown makes the same sense as a king without a country.
yeah.
I
It's
mean,
the
you
whole,
could call that song, you could take that out and change the name to a king without a crown, and everything would match up exactly the same. So, hey, it
yeah,
works.
yeah. And I love how y'all incorporate the different like animations, like the old style cartoons and stuff like that into, well, you do it on social media like for your promos and stuff, but also like if you actually click on the specific song, you can see that same imagery like repeating. So that was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Those cartoons are just random old ass cartoons. And when our song Death and Faxes started doing pretty well, that video just had one of those simple cartoons was, all right, well, let's try this again. So a king without a country actually has one of those. So
yeah, yeah, it has that.
is that your favorite Manhack track? Is that the one you play the most?
Most I guess like favorite right now, if that
Nice.
makes sense, because
Yeah.
I'll go like it'll be like cyclical, like I'll
Yeah.
get, yeah, I don't know why, but um mainly like I love the, I mean, if you just read the lyrics like without actually visualizing, uh or not visualize, whatever, the music, like disregarding the actual music, it's like poetry, so I
Yeah.
appreciate the lyricism is
Thank you.
in that song.
Yeah. And
So
that the specific song that you're talking about, that's actually exactly how it was written. You remember Live Journal by any chance?
it sounds
Kind of
really
talking,
familiar.
kind of talking about MySpace era kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I used to write a bunch of random. They weren't even really lyrics because I wasn't in a band at the time, but just poems, epic poems, and just random thoughts and shit.
Yeah.
Would go on Live Journal, and a lot of those ended up being lyrics for Manhack songs. This Forsaken Land, for instance, was originally posted to Live Journal. Martyrdom,
Hmm.
The Concealer, A King Without a Country, actually,
Okay.
who was also, it's funny, that song was originally called A Queen Without a Country, but we just
Okay.
decided to change that a little bit because it meant it. What am I trying to say? It was a little bit more relevant to where the direction of the song was going.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that came from Live Journal, and that was written years before it was ever intended to be in a song. And yeah, that was written as just kind of this. I don't want to say it's an epic poem because it's not super long, but just something where it kind of has that certain rhyming pattern, which is
Yeah.
interesting because when you try to take something like that that's written a specific way to have this nice eloquent flow while you're reading it and all the every other line, the last word rhymes and all that. It's pretty interesting trying to take that and cram it into a metal song.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just like this,
It's
because I mean, you're screaming yeah, a lot of the time, and so that y'all did a good job, is all I'm
Thank
saying.
you.
Like the you kept the flow of the eloquentness,
Yeah.
I guess, while including some ferocity. So
Yeah, and that's what can be tricky is because some of those lines, and we actually have a release that we're working on right now. It's probably aiming to have it come out sometime. It's kind of the same thing. It's based around a really long, actually 4 chapter long epic poem that has that where it has this every other line rhymes and it has this structure and it flows a certain way. And trying to cram some of that into a verse or chorus
hmm.
is pretty tough because you want to stick to the concept, but you also want it to make sense for the vocalist. and
Yeah.
and and kind of trying to put it into the song to where the vocalist, it makes sense for him to do that either in the
Yeah.
studio or live. But
Hmm.
that's just kind of part of the dynamic of being the guitar player that writes most of the stuff but doesn't do vocals.
Yeah.
Just like being the guitar player that writes most of the stuff and doesn't play drums, yet here I am programming drums anyway. So sometimes the drums get a little weird.
Yeah. That's funny.
And our old drummer Pat would always give me shit because I'd write a drum part. He's like, "Yo, what the hell is that? Nobody would ever do that." I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, let's fix it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, y'all, yeah, I don't know. Y'all are consistently, in my opinion, coming out with like I'm not skipping anything, like
Yeah.
as far as
That's good. That's
you know
good.
what I mean? Well, I mean, I don't know. Like some of my favorite artists, like I even like say they come out with like a crazy long album, like 20 songs or something like that. Like even some of them, I'll give the whole album like a once through, and then when I'm at work, like listening to it, I'll be like, not that one, like you know what I mean? Like I don't have to do that with y'all. So
Nice.
that's
That's
cool.
a huge compliment, man, because usually that's something that we try to aim for when we come out with releases.
Mhm.
Obviously it's almost impossible to tell how a song's going to be received until you actually put it out there.
Yeah.
Everybody in the band could think it's the greatest thing ever, and then you put it out there and nobody likes it, or the song that you think nobody's going to like, you put it out there and it's your top played one. It's always something like that.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear, man. I appreciate that. It's a huge compliment.
Yeah, no problem. But I mean, it's the same with podcasting. Like I can put like a lot of work into some like really intricate kind of like scientific podcast about strength training or whatever. I'm like, man, this is like a lot of good info. It's gonna really like be successful. It's gonna help a lot of people. It's gonna probably be popular. And then it's like compared to like another one that's same situation. Like it's weird. Hit and misses, I guess, and different crowds, I guess, like go toward different things. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's really tough to figure that out. And that's when we take out our ads too. I mean, that's the same approach there. It's all right. Well, the verse is our favorite part of the song, but we don't know, right? That's why you put the verse, chorus, bridge, and all the other different parts of the song out there. And then the one you think's not going to do well is the one that gets the best clicks on it, the most clicks on it, right?
Yeah.
Hell, another example is our song Death and Faxes. When we were writing that song, it first off, we put it first on the album as kind of a joke because an intro has to be a minute long or some shit, right? So I said, you know what? Screw it. Let's take the longest song we've ever written and put that one first, right? Yeah. That'll be the intro, right? 5.5 minute long track, which is by far the longest song that we've ever written. And it's because of how long that song was, mainly that our vocalist knew, so he called it. So props to Matt.
Yeah.
He knew that song from day one. He was like, yo, this song is it. People are going to eat this shit up. It's like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool song. It's got a lot of nice production in it. And I definitely spent the most time writing that song than any other track, not just because of how long it is, but just because of the extra instruments and synth and all the different guitar tones that are in it and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. That might be a deep cut for people. That's like a hidden gem on the album that, it's cool, but I don't. And then anyway, now it stays at the top of all of our streaming platforms, and we cannot get people to stop listening to that song. I mean, it stays at the top every time. Every time we log into Spotify for artists, you go past 7 days, past 24 hours, 28 days, 12 months, whatever it is, at the top every time. Yeah. And I never, ever would have guessed that would have happened because the song's 5.5 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
People want these thrown kind of tidbits, right? They want these 2.5 minute long songs because that's just kind of how everybody's attention span is nowadays with social media. They want it quick, they want it fast, they want it now, and then they're gone, right?
Yeah.
So here you have this 5.5 long minute track that has a really short build up to a long build up to a build up, and then the riff comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, the song doesn't get to the point until a minute and a half into it.
Yeah.
Well, so that combined with it was 5.5 minutes long. I was like, yo, there's no way people are going to listen to this shit. And then what do you know?
Yeah. No, I feel like with that song in particular, like the way you described it, how it's like a small build up and then like it's leveled like that. Um, I feel like y'all hooked the audience kind of like writing a book, how they're like, oh, you got to hook them on the first like page or whatever, or half page. I feel like that's, even though it's like not the meat of the song, it's still like hook the attention, so then they're in for the ride, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. Which is interesting though, because it's one of those things that, because it swells up like that and it starts off quiet,
Mhm.
that was the justification behind, at least my rationale was, people aren't going to grab onto this because it's like, oh, let me fast forward, let me get to the riff, let me get to the breakdown, right?
Yeah, the breakdown.
Yeah, but apparently not. Apparently that's what they like, that kind of stuff. So thanks Mick Gordon
Yeah.
for the song structure reference.
Yeah.
Because that is absolutely where that came from. No shame.
Yeah, whatever. It's whatever. Like I mean some of the beauty of what y'all, the band is um not, like is pulling aspects from different things, so whatever. That's like part of what makes y'all great.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Yeah. It's, we're always trying to find new ways to pull influence from things. Not, I mean, sometimes things that, yeah, we like, but also things that are successful,
Mhm.
which sometimes might not be things that we like. Right.
Yeah.
For instance, Knocked Loose.
Mhm.
I don't listen to Knocked Loose. Their music is cool,
Yeah.
but I just don't listen to them. It's just not my thing.
Right.
But I'm so curious about them
Mhm.
because, I mean, they're just, they're a hardcore mosh band
Yeah.
that you would hear at This Is Hardcore Festival, but they just blew up. I mean, what was the festival they headlined? Bonnaroo or something? It's like crazy the shit that they're doing. Bands like that are always so interesting to me. So we pull influences from different places, even if we're not necessarily listening to that band on repeat, right?
Right.
Lamb of God is another one. I mean, Lamb of God is really an enigma because when you go and listen to their songs, there's not much difference between track to track. It's kind of like they said, all right, they found something that worked years ago and they just kept writing that song.
Mhm.
Or you can tell you, yeah, this is going to be about 120, 130 beats per minute. And then there's going to be a verse that tightens up. And then Randy comes in, boom, 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 boom. And then there's going to be some fast part. And then there's going to be some catchy chorus line. And then there's going to be a breakdown. I mean, but even considering that they write very similar songs to each other,
Mhm.
and the fact that he pretty much does screaming only metal vocals, they play in front of like 50,000 people, right? I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
And what's even crazier about it is a lot of people in the audience watching them are probably the people you see on social media say, oh, I can't understand what he's saying though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I like metal, but growling metal isn't real metal or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
But they listen to Lamb of God.
Mhm.
So that's the thing that's really interesting, in that we pull inspiration from stuff like that.
Right.
Because yeah, I mean, Matt can do gutturals and shit all day. He can do the tunnel vox and sound like a pterodactyl, and he can sound like Phil Bozeman or whoever you want him to. But and we do some stuff like that. We like to throw those little tidbits in there, but it's really taking influence from bands that are in kind of a similar genre as us that are massive, right? What are they doing? How are they doing it? When are they doing it? Right? What's in their songwriting that's causing people to get hooked to this shit? Right?
Right.
Because I mean, if you didn't know Lamb of God at all, and you only listened to, let's say, underground metalcore, deathcore, etc., and you played a Lamb of God song for somebody, they'd be like, oh yeah, this is badass. And then you say, okay, yeah, they have what 2 million monthly listeners or whatever it is, and they play in front of 60,000 people. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So Lamb of God's interesting. Anyway, we pull influences from a lot of different things, not just specifically riffs that we like. In fact, I don't really pull a lot of influence from riffs, really. I think that there's always going to be a lot of old school Metallica, the Black Album and before, and Fear Factory. There's always going to be a lot of that influence in our songwriting because that shit's just going to come out of me no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I mean, that's kind of a little bit of an insight onto influences that we pull for stuff, songwriting. And hey, the Mick Gordon thing is a good one too, because I mean, that's also a good example of, phenomenal tracks and great songwriting and great production, but also having this kind of cinematic metal song, right? Where you have a metal song that's only about 40 to 50% actual instruments and the other 50 to 60% is sound design, right? Because the song was originally written for a video game. So it had a much different purpose. And you can go on Mick Gordon's Spotify now, and Rip and Tear has over 100 million plays on it probably by this point. Last time I checked, it was like 97 or 98 or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
insane.
Right? I mean, you got to think about, I mean, it's insane for Lamb of God to have that, but you got to think that's what that is. That's Lamb of God. That's Slipknot numbers, right? But this is a detuned 8-string gent song that was on a video game.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what?
Yeah.
You got 100 million plays on that? So that's curious also, right? So it's kind of like, okay, well, if people like that kind of stuff, we like writing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Death and Faxes came from. And then that obviously people like that song. So people do want to listen to long songs, apparently.
Yeah. So, hype music to kill things too.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what that was.
Yeah. Virtually, of course. So when did y'all first start touring? I know technically y'all been around for like 12, 13 years. Did y'all, like immediately start doing shows and stuff, or how did that work out for y'all?
Not immediately. Well, like we were talking about earlier, the band started in 2011. But again, that was just the one man guy kind of thing, me doing a solo project, whatever. And then we didn't actually play a show until about 2018, late 2018.
Okay.
Mostly played around Georgia, played Tennessee, Florida, we've played North Carolina. Really only played the Southeast. Done a couple weekend runs here and there, but yeah, so that's kind of when that started. And our drummer now is one of the best drummers, if not the best drummer I've ever played with, but he's in school a lot and it's kicking his ass. So we're actually looking right now for a touring drummer. We have a booking agent who is wanting to definitely put us on the road, and we want to get on the road a lot more and really tour, really get those numbers up, do week-long, 2-week, 3-week long shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's the next step as far as touring and shows is concerned, is to actually get really good tours under our belts and really take Manhack out all over the US, eventually all over the world, to all the people that have been commenting saying, hey, come to our city, come here. And
yeah,
we're working on it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So speaking of the touring and everything, do you have like a most memorable moment or craziest experience or anything like that you could share?
Show related or playing shows and stuff?
Either one or both. What
yeah.
I'm
trying to think. What happened? We were playing. Well, this okay. This one's fun. This technically happened in front of our driveway, but
oh shit.
we we were at, what was it, Myrtle Beach, or was that Panama City? It was Panama City. Myrtle Beach, and then we came. I don't remember anyway. No. I think that was a solo Panama City show. Anyway, we were coming back from that and pulling a trailer, and we got to my house. So in the front of the house over here on the street, and we were pulling up, and we had to try to back the van or back the trailer up the driveway, and it shit the bed right there in front of the house. Come to find out, the rear main seal was shot, transmission was shot. So it was just pissing out oil and transmission fluid just everywhere.
Yeah, just
tried to put it in gear and couldn't get it to go anywhere. So we just had to push it and park it on the side of the street. Neighbors called the cops on us for a van being out there because they're assholes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a weird ordeal. But the strangest thing was that we went back and forth to Panama City, which from here in a van pulling a trailer is about a 5.5, 6 hour drive. Well, between 5 to 6, whatever. It depends on how fast you go and how many piss breaks you take.
Yeah.
So all those miles, no problems. Got there okay, came back okay. It wasn't until we were about 30 minutes out that our bassist at the time, Aunt Belcher, was driving, and there was this weird kind of sputtering thing happen. And we both kind of looked at each other, said, what the hell was that? Because that wasn't normal.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, once we got in front of the house, it waited then.
Yeah.
And then it crapped out. Weird as shit. I mean, it didn't crap out when we got to the venue. It didn't crap out halfway there. It's like the van said, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Y'all did cool. Peace out.
Yeah.
So that was weird just because of the timing of it. I mean, it was obviously you don't want something like that to ever happen to your vehicle, and especially your tour vehicle. But if it's going to happen, that's the time for it to happen.
Yeah. When everything is done and you're back safe.
Yeah.
It's better than, especially on the like driving, like if you're on the highway or something and your transmission goes out, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, no. And pulling a trailer too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's, so as far as your writing process goes, so are you the only lyricist? Like, do you all kind of contribute, or how does that work out?
It depends on what it is. So for our song, Glorify God Whisper, that one was all me. So, instrumentals, lyrics, because if I have a specific concept in mind for a song, then it's me and Matt have both kind of agreed that it's best that I just put together the vocals for it and then send it to him, and then he just tracks it. Because if me and him try to go back and forth on ideas for something like that, if I have a specific theme in mind, it doesn't really work as well as if I just give him a track completely blank and say, do whatever you want. So it depends on what it is. Death and Faxes was, I wrote the instrumentals. I wrote everything besides the vocals, handed him the instrumental song and said, do whatever you want. Expedition 14A had a specific theme in mind, which again was Doom 3.
Yeah.
So Matt doesn't know shit about Doom 3. So that one, yeah, I obviously had to write the lyrics and do the rough vocal patterns for it and send that off to him. So, I mean, it really depends for sure on what it is. But we're doing a lot. Come to find out that Matt just, especially after what he did on Death and Faxes, all the weird vocal shit that he did on that one.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we need to get you doing this more often.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot more of handing him instrumental tracks. And sometimes the only thing that he might have in that situation as far as specific notes to follow would be, hey, this is the verse. This is the chorus. This is the bridge, right? And then I might notate, maybe there's a specific type of vocal in mind. So if it's the chorus, for instance, with the chorus, we always try to aim for catchy as possible, right?
Right.
Yes, it's screaming. Yes, it's metal riffs, but what can we do to make that chorus stick in your head? Right. And so that's always something that we discuss and keep in mind. And I always make notes of when giving to him to do vocals for a song is, hey, the chorus, remember, this is the return to home, right? This is the thing. This is the anthem. This is the thing that needs to get stuck in somebody's head, right? So also make the vocals have a lot of enunciation, right? Don't just do a guttural the whole chorus.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to hear it. The noise is cool, right? And a lot of that shit that he does takes a lot of skill for sure, but you can't hear the words, right? So it might be, hey, this is the chorus, max enunciation, right? What like ride that line as much as you can between being able to hear what you're saying and making it sound cool. And then for the verse, it might be a little more free reign to do whatever you want, right? If you want to throw gutturals in there and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But usually there's some notes like that. Hey, here's the song structure layout. Here's the chorus, max enunciation. We really try to go for max enunciation, period, moving forward. Best case scenario, you listen to a Manhack song the first time and you can understand most of the words. So, because again, that's kind of a reference from Lamb of God. They've managed to figure out how to do that perfectly. So, as far as our actual writing process is concerned, I mean, that's really what kind of how we go about it. Sometimes we write riffs first and then put drums with them. Sometimes songs start from a random sample. There's a track I'm working on right now, for instance. There was one, it's like a 3 or 4 second clip from Fallout New Vegas DLC.
Oh, that was just that was my next question, actually. It was like, are y'all gonna do any Fallout stuff?
Yeah, it was a really short 3 to 4 second sample that's in the game files, and it just sounded cool. So I pulled that sample up. It had 2 notes and it had a beats per minute. So I figured out what the beats per minute was. I figured out what the notes were and then built a song around that. So sometimes it starts from random shit like that. Sometimes you're driving and you get the idea in your head and then you make a voice memo, right? And then you go, da 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 da, and then that's how the song starts. It's a lot of different stuff for sure. But yeah, that's kind of how we approach writing.
I got you. Okay. So, so you just recently, believe February 2nd, right? You dropped your newest album, and you're already working on new stuff, which is always good. You know, audience appreciates that.
Yeah.
You know. Do you have any idea? Like, is it in its infancy for the new stuff, or are you planning on just like one more song for now, or like a whole album, or can you give any insight into that? I don't know.
Yeah. Excuse me. First off, the current album is not done, so there's more coming for that. So
okay,
imminent ascendancy is just it's not done. There's more coming for that.
Okay.
Yes, we are working on new songs always. So ever since I think June or July of 2022 is when we started deciding that we were going to upload a new song once every 6 to 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
We pretty much haven't stopped since. I think we might have missed that gap once between Jonesy Christ and Fur Elise. But ever since that, besides that one, ever since about summer of 2022, you've gotten a new Manhack song within 2 months repeatedly.
Yeah.
We're still going to keep that going forward. That has its own challenges for sure, but yeah, we've got a few songs that we're working on right now. Like I said, there's tracks that still haven't come out for the album because this current album arc isn't done yet.
Okay.
We're working on a few other songs, another EP that might turn into another full length, and then maybe another EP. So, I mean, there's just all kinds of random shit. I mean, maybe it'll be a single, maybe it'll be an EP, whatever. We don't know, but it'll be new stuff.
Yeah.
And if you like Manhack previously, this mix is going to be even better, and this shit's hopefully going to be even heavier. So I'm not going to say hopefully, because it is. Okay. New Manhack is going to have a better mix. It's going to sound better, and it's going to be heavier.
Yeah. Some good promises there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is how my tattoo artist introduced it. You know, he's like, I was like, oh, what do they sound like? He's like the lyric, or he's like the vocals are filthy, and I was like, okay, nice.
Matt will appreciate that for sure.
Yeah. So, man, that's cool. I really appreciate the effort into into everything, but also like a consistent schedule of new content. So
yeah, you have to. I mean, we live in a time where people's attention spans are the shortest that they've ever been. We can get into the whole social media is the downfall of society conversation, but that'd probably be a whole nother 3-hour podcast in and of itself. But it social media is conditioning people to want more content quicker, more entertaining, higher quality, faster, right?
Right.
I mean, you can sit there and zone out on your phone for 10 minutes and watch 60 videos pass you by.
Yeah.
So
TikTok, you just flip it.
Yeah. You get this right thumb exercise. This right thumb gets really swole, right? And you get this, you get this workout on your right thumb just watching these cat videos and shit. For like I said, even 10 minutes, you can go through dozens of videos. So one of the biggest things that you can do nowadays as a band to set yourself apart is to stay consistent with the work ethic. And look, yeah, it sounds cliche. It sounds like, oh yeah, consistency. Yeah, whatever. I mean, but it's just like, you work out. So it's like gym stuff, right? Somebody could go to the gym for a week, get a little stronger, build a little muscle, burn a little fat. But if you stop after that, you're just going to pretty much go back to where you were. Now, imagine if you went to the gym for a year straight, right? Yeah. How much different would you look on the other side of that? Yeah. So one of the biggest things that bands can do nowadays is to stay consistent, is to social media and release schedule. I mean, the whole 6 to 8 weeks thing, sometimes 4 to 8 weeks, whatever. That's not just so you can pitch songs or pitch songs to a Spotify editorial playlist, right? I mean, that's cool, but we've gotten on 3 editorial playlists and they're only 3% of our streams. So
yeah, wow.
If we never got on them, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. So playlist pitching is cool, but don't overthink that. Anyway, so it's not just releasing consistently like that so you can constantly have stuff to pitch to Spotify. It's you need to keep grabbing your fans' attention, right? And if you're a band, your fans are your customers and your product is your music mainly. I mean, your product as a band is entertainment, because there's multiple ways to entertain people as a band, not just through your music. Obviously, music is the main thing, but music still is number one. And focusing on doing that every 6 to 8 weeks, I mean, it's tough because once you start doing that and you get the ball rolling, you kind of set that standard, right? Yeah. If you don't release a song every 6 to 8 weeks, people are going to come out, hey man, what are you doing? Yeah, we're getting really bored really quick compared to a band that might just release one full length every 2 years, right? But that's the best way to keep people's attention nowadays is the consistent uploading of new music and also social media. And social media is a whole nother debate, which we can definitely talk about because we love the whole social media conversation and
so that's
etc.
I was going to ask you who mainly does the social media, because whoever does it is on top of it and doing really well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's me also. So that's me 100%. I do all of that. Always have been.
Okay. Damn. Yeah, no, y'all are or you are very on top of that. There's so much video content. Well, I mean, like I was saying, just the pulling from different cartoons and different stuff like that. That in itself, creates the content because like it's really weird. Like I've just from being a social media user and also trying to put out content and stuff like that. Like I found like a lot of the time people just need something to because they're in that mode of like the fast watching and everything. It's almost like they just need, even if it's repetitive imagery, just something to kind of like occupy their eyes while they're listening. It's really weird, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And that's what's great about bands getting consistent about posting to their social media. Which yeah, there's the argument that it's tough because you're a musician and you want to focus your time on writing music and stuff like that. But I mean, you're really only afforded that luxury if you're big enough to have someone else doing your social media for you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want more people to come to your show, you want more people to subscribe to your YouTube channel, to go to your website and buy merch, and you want more people to listen to you on Spotify, all of that comes from your social media, first off. I mean, you can build all of that with a $0 ad budget because social media is free. So again, kind of going back to what we were saying about the consistency, if a band can figure out how to post to social media once a day and upload a new song every 6 to 8 weeks, you have gained a superpower as a band because 95% of other bands aren't doing that. Like, yeah, great. Post a flyer when you announce a show, but just posting the same JPEG screenshot 7 times isn't going to increase the amount of times that people come out to your show, right?
Right.
Or the amount of people that come out to your show. You need to provide value first. And if people know that they can expect a post from you, especially if it's around the same time of day, and they log in and they see it every day, something new, then those people are going to keep coming back. You're going to get even more bumps in the algorithm. And that's how you start to reel people in for sure, is that consistently posting. And posting every day is tough for sure.
Yeah.
That was a goal that we set actually the biggest turning point for us in a band was March 2022. Because that's when we decided that we were going to start uploading a new song every 6 to 8 weeks. Because by that time the full length was pretty much done.
Yeah.
And we were going to release the full length, but we weren't just going to do the typical band thing where you have 12, 13 songs or however many it is. And here it is. And you just drop it. Yeah. No, you can still do a full length, but you can also release it, stagger it out, and drag it out over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, so that was when we decided to do that, was around March of 2022. And then we decided to make it a goal to post once a day on social media in March of 2022. And that was the best thing this band's ever done. I mean, it's crazy the benefit that had. And it took some work. And you're going to have to take away time from other things. You're going to have to move your schedule around. And some people listening to this or watching this are like, but I got kids and I got 4 jobs and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, did you have time to take a shit today?
Yeah.
You had time to post. Did you
Yeah.
eat food at some point? Upload while you're eating. I mean, come on. So it's possible. It's just, again, it's one of those things where maybe you say, hey, there's some bad habits. Maybe do less of those bad habits. Right. No. Hey, and look, nobody's telling you can't spend less time on social media. Just maybe not 30 minutes of cat memes. Right. Yeah. Maybe just bring that down to 10 minutes of cat memes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Okay. There, you just freed up 20 minutes. Right.
Yeah.
Get a post up, upload it. And then now you can go back to looking at cat memes. So, it is a daunting task. And I think that's why some people are kind of intimidated by that. But, I forgot what the original question was.
I did too.
It was about social media.
It was about social media and who was in charge of it, and I was just saying that y'all are doing well on that, obviously. The
Yeah. Appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. But I don't. I mean, that's pretty much most of my questions. Do you have any stories or anything you want to add?
Not that I can think of really. I mean, let me see. What else were we looking at here? Remember this tour? Instrumentalists. Yeah. I mean, no, that's really it, man. Looks like we nailed most of the questions that we had.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
I
I
do.
guess,
Okay. So you mentioned one of the upcoming songs that has like a clip from Fallout. Um, is there any other video games or uh movies, cartoons, whatever that you'll be pulling up, like that you know for sure that you're pulling from in the future?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And we also pull from video games kind of in an indirect way.
Right.
Uh, we have a song right now that we're working on that's unreleased. The title of that song is from. Okay, you've probably played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You ever do the horse betting in that game?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay. Smart people that played Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto San Andreas, you probably did this yourself. The
Yeah.
first chance you get, right? You beat up a drug dealer on the side of the street, steal
Yep.
his $2,000. You go to the horse betting, and then you just bet and bet and bet and bet, and you eventually just have all the money you'll ever need in the game without cheats,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, you probably remember the horses in that game. The horse names in that game were just like the craziest shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a list on our. Well, I actually have a really long list of potential song name titles. It's probably 80 or 90 long,
Oh, shit.
that we can potentially use. And anyway, there's a song that's going to be one of the names of that horse, of one of the horses in the horse betting.
Okay.
It doesn't really have anything else to do with the rest of the track. It's just kind of that random shit.
Yeah. No.
So that's another influence, kind of in an indirect way that's pulling from a video game. But yeah, there's one song in particular that's pulling from, well, just kind of more Mick Gordon influence, specifically the genre Argent metal. Not sure if you've heard of that.
No, honestly.
Argent metal, ARGNT metal.
Okay.
It's a subgenre of metal that got created after the first Doom soundtrack dropped in 2016, and it's an entire subgenre of metal that's pretty much trying to recreate what Mick Gordon did on those soundtracks, but trying to create their own version of what they think a song on the Doom soundtrack would sound like.
Right.
So
Okay.
you have a lot of the same kind of sounding production and synth interweaved with the sound design, etc. There's a whole subgenre of that shit now.
Yeah.
So, which kind of goes to show the brilliance of Mick Gordon. He single-handedly created an entire new genre of metal without even trying to do so.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a song that's influenced around that. It's kind of our take of working on, if Manhack were to write an Argent metal song, maybe what it would sound like.
Okay.
So because Argent metal is based around Doom, obviously there's some influences in that. As of right this moment, though, it's really only two songs I can think of that have specific video game references. There's a couple of things that we're working on that I think people are going to like too. So one pretty fun one, but I'm not going to. We're just going to let that one drop. We're not going to.
Yeah, I got you. I'm not trying to ruin, spoil anything. But,
No. Yeah.
but, okay, dude. Well, once again, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anytime. And yeah, I guess good luck with, I mean, y'all don't need it, but good luck with your future endeavors.
We'll take it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right, dude. Well, thank you, and Manhack, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, real quick, before I let you go, is there do you want to plug your social medias or anything like that?
Yeah. We're on everything. So
yeah,
Instagram at Manhack Official, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube's great too because all of our original content goes on our YouTube. We don't go through some other site. We all try to funnel as much as we can through our own YouTube channel that we upload to and we organize and we run. So definitely get subscribed to that. Follow us on Spotify so that way you can keep up with all the new songs that we're going to drop soon. And follow us on Instagram. You can like it on Facebook. Facebook's kind of dead, but hey, that's your thing. Cool. Go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're on Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, Shazam, Angami, Pandora, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, whatever whatever you like. Tidal, even. Hey, if you want to listen to it in max fidelity,
exactly.
Go for it.
As much as your phone can handle, I guess.
Yeah, there's yet to be a streaming service that plays back the song with the quality that we upload the track at, because I upload, because it gets mixed down directly from the session and then it gets uploaded straight to the distributor right here on the same computer. So they're getting a huge WAV file.
Yeah,
it's like 6,400 KB per second.
Right. It's like big. Not even. Yeah, because it's a small transition. It's not losing quality really. So
yeah, it does though. Obviously, when you Spotify, it's like 192 KB MP3 is fine. Cool. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, sick.
Yeah, they're like, let's just compress this real quick for our servers.
Yeah, which in their defense, they kind of have to for volume optimization, so that way tracks aren't super loud in between, and they're the biggest streaming platform, so they kind of have to do that. But if you want to hear it on the best quality, definitely Tidal. But yeah, any outlet of choice, any social media of choice, we're on there. So also our website, manhack.org, has our latest music videos, merch, tour dates. You can contact us directly, ask us a question, whatever. So yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of us.
Sweet. Okay. Well, thank you once again so much. And appreciate
it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna this will come out not this Monday, but next Monday, so March 4th.
Okay.
Yeah
Cool.
So, but I'll message you on Instagram and stuff. We'll figure the rest out. But
all right. Yeah, do you usually post clips of social media stuff, or
that's why I was kind of asking you about all of that. So just recently I made a dedication to like get way more into the social media for the podcast. And so I have a new episode coming out this Monday and this, I'm doing them every Monday and Wednesday. So the next episode, like in a few days, that's when I'm starting back strong with all of the social media and everything. So I'll be posting clips, probably a thumbnail type of post as well. So
okay.
Yeah, but I'll tag y'all on everything and share it with you through Messenger. Through the DMs and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, whenever you're ready to get that stuff uploaded, let me know. We're gonna cut some clips from this also, and then just make our own videos and then tag you in them and stuff. Obviously, so But once you actually get this posted up, we'll post those then.
Okay,
if you're cool with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Any promo helps. So
okay, that'll be video and audio. So is that cool?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
All right, dude. Well, I'm gonna let you go, but thank you, and I'll be talking to you later, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Be safe.
All right, you too. Bye.